All right, hello everyone. I hope everyone's staying safe during this quarantine, and you can see my presentation here about NIM, the hardest simple math game for algebra, abstract algebra. I'm recording this on May 4th, so may the 4th be with you, everyone. So let's dive on in. So, earlier, as I said, NIM in title is a math game. So I'll explain to you guys how to set up and how to play, and then I'll explain the strategy later on. So NIM here is a simple concept and it can be played with anything. I usually use coins when I play, but you can start with matches, rocks, anything you pick up. You just need a set of similar objects so you can tell what they are. Because it would be kind of weird if I had a match and a coin. You'd think they'd be two different things. You just want to make sure they're similar for the whole thing. Now, the purpose of the game is to be the person to take the last object. That's how you play. I'll explain it here. We'll do a simple game to go through. Now, there are different setups to the game. You have a multi-tier game, which I have down here, the smiley faces that we'll play, or you have a single tier game, which I have up here with the coins. When I first learned about NIM, I learned it as a way to trick people out of winning money, and I'll explain that real quickly soon. I did a single tier game. So, with a single tier game, you would make a deal with someone. You put up a set number of coins, and you would tell them, hey, we're gonna play this game called NIM. The person to take the last coin wins. Alright, so you each put in $5 or something. And then how you play is you say to each other a set amount. You say, alright, so you're allowed to take up to 1, 2, or 3 coins. And then same thing for you, you alternate your turn. Like, alright, I'll be allowed to take 1, 2, 3 coins as well. Person to take the last coin wins. Now the trick to win this, if you want to try to win money, so pay attention, is choose a number of 4. Alright, so have 4 coins or 8 coins. Sorry about that. 8, 12 coins, 16 coins, something of that nature. And then make the deal with them. Say, alright, you're allowed to only take either 1, 2, or 3 coins. Now, an important part of NIM is that you must take something on each turn. No matter if you play multi-tier or single tier, you must take something on your turn. So you can't pass because you're alternating turns. So, in this case, if you're up to the groups of 4, again, say you can take either 1, 2, or 3 coins. So say, and have the other person then go first. So when they take, say, 2 coins, you want to take 2 coins. If they take 1 coin, you want to take 3 coins. And if they take 3 coins, you want to take 1 coin. Now, I hope you guys all see what these all have in common is when you add them together, they equal 4, which is very important because it's similar for it being a cyclic group, gang back for the generation. I'll explain that when I get later. So in this case here, say you choose. I have 5 coins here, so it's not ideal. So we'll just have this one out to begin with. It's just a picture I found online. I couldn't really be picky with it. So again, you take 2. All right, my turn. I take 2. Since I took the last coin, I win. All right, now let's get down here to a multi-tier game, which gets a little bit more complex. So with a multi-tier game, you're allowed to take as many as you want, but you can only take from one row. Alright, so in this one here we have 3 rows. Up here has 4 in it, down here has 9 in it, and then down here has 15 in it. And I have that for a reason. Again, I'll explain it later. So say I go first, we alternate turns. Alright, so I want to take out this entire row. Boom. No 4s left. Alright, now going your turn. So you just take like back here. Just want to take 1 out. Alright, that's fine. I'll just go, say I take 3. Alright, say take all of these. I believe that was 11. Alright, I finish out the row. And then boom, you have the win. Because if you take all of these, you took the last one that was left, which would have been this one here. So yay, here's a crown. Because you are the winner. Alright, so that's how you play NIM. Again, great thing about it is you just have a group of friends. You just need a pile of objects. No matter what it is, so someone has to change, again, because I use coins. Anything like that there, you can play the game of NIM. Alright, and then you can win some money if you do the trick that I taught you from the beginning. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys a little of history of NIM. So what was really interesting about this when I was doing my research is that there's no specific timeline for NIM. Like, we don't know when it began, who started it, or how the whole thing really came about. But from the sources I checked, the game began in ancient China. So in ancient China, they would use matchsticks and they would play a multi-tier system, but they would do a pyramid of matchsticks. So say you have like 5 down here, and then 3, and then 1. Now in this one here, it was more inverted, so they didn't do rows. They did it as columns. So you can take anything, any amount you want from any column. It's a multi-tier game. Again, same rules apply. So the last person to take a matchstick would win. And an amazing thing is that it was the predecessor to Mancala. Mancala is another game up here. If you played it, it's really fun. Whole point of Mancala is to get the most marbles into your home safe zone. I'm not talking about Mancala, but Mancala was built after using the mechanics of NIM. So NIM was given its name by a Harvard professor in 1901. His name was Charles, I can't really pronounce that. Last name's not good with, but I'm going with Bouton. So NIM's been around for all these years, and it wasn't given a name until it was actually studied for its mathematical purpose by this Harvard math professor. And what I found really amazing is in 1966, the unbeatable game, The Amazing Dr. NIM, was put into production. So the Dr. NIM over here, this is just plastic board game. You put the marbles in. As long as you followed the rules, there was no possible way for you to win. All right, now let's dive into that just a little bit here, because Dr. NIM is a single tier game. All right, and it uses the exact same mechanics I taught you guys on how to cheat people out of some money. So they had the levers set up. So like say you drop 1 marble, I would roll down and get the lever set up in a certain position that it would drop 3 marbles. So then your turn, you would pick number 1 through 3 to drop it, and then it would go through. So it would always take the last marble, which is amazing. Now another interesting fact I found about NIM is that one of the earliest computer programs I set up was to be able to play the game of NIM against each other, and it was named Nimrod. So if anyone ever calls you a Nimrod, it's actually a really good thing, because it is a very smart machine that people set up to play the game of NIM and would pretty much always win unless you knew the strategy, which we are going to get into right. So here are connections to abstract algebra, connections to the course that we are in, which is again going to be set up towards the strategy. So the group that we have here is going to be the group of whole numbers. All right, now you're using any objects, using matches, stones, coins. That's it. Those are your objects. All right, you break a match in half. All right, now you have 2 matches. All right, it's not like it's a half a match. And so it's a set of objects. You can't have any fractions, any decimals, none of that. Whole numbers. And if you're playing a single tier game, the whole point is to bring the group back to its identity. And what I mean by that is, if we think of them as equivalence classes, say, here we go, 0, and then 1, I'm just going to do 2, just make it set up this way. I'll put the 3 because that makes sense for the example that I gave. Alright, the whole point we want to do is you want to always get it back to the 0. Alright, so on their turn, they have to take 1, 2, or 3 from a single tier, how I explained it. That means no matter what, you would always grab the 0. So that's what I mean by bringing it back to the identity. You have the group being a cyclic group generated in a certain way. So I always usually have in a group of 4, so you can take it and go through that way. And another note that I want to point up is if someone figures out how you're doing it, you always bring it back to 4, and they challenge you, because you have to make them go first. Remember, that's important. If you're doing single tier, trying to cheat someone out of money, make them go first. But if they catch on, what you gotta do is you just have to have like an extra coin, extra pebble, match, whatever. Just palm it for a little bit, and if they make you go first, put that on the table. Alright? So then that makes, instead of 16, now it's 17. So now you can just take once back to 16, and then they'll have to keep doing the 3 system, and you're always there guaranteed to win. Now, earlier, as I've shown when we played the game, which you won, congratulations, is that we had 4 in the first column, 9 in the second, and 15 in the third. And that was for the multi-tier system. The important thing for this is that multi-tier games of NIM uses binary code, binary language. So in binary, 4 goes to 100, 9, 1001, and 15 is 111. All right, that's important for layer for the strategy. So, and this is how the computer would use it. So each move is going to be deemed safe or unsafe. I'll explain that a little bit more. So safe move means that after your turn, the columns in the binary system add up to 0 or 2. All right, what the heck am I talking about? So as you see right here, we have all these set up with your 4, 9, and 15. All right, so add up the columns. 1 plus 1 is 2, 0s and 1, that's 1, again 2 and 2. So will this be a safe or unsafe move? All right, unsafe. And the reason it's unsafe is because we have this 1 right here. It would only be deemed safe if you had only 2s and 0s at the bottom. And the reason for that is no matter what you would take away after that would make it an unsafe move. All right, you would have a 1 in there somewhere, no matter how you do it. An important part of that is if it's made unsafe, means that you can always take something to build yourself back into a safe move. So always go back up to these 2s or 0s. All right, and the whole point of this is so then you're always guaranteed that on your turn, because they are going to have to make it into an unsafe move, they're going to make it to have a 1 in some way. So it has to be a 1 anywhere. Doesn't matter where the 1 is. All right, if you have like the 1 up here with the 4 up top, all right, there. So if we didn't have any of this, all right, you have one column just with 4. Take all that, you win. All right, just in any single way. Important thing to build is if you put all these numbers into a binary system and add them up, if it is an unsafe move, you can make it into a safe move. So then you're always guaranteed, if it's unsafe for your turn, you make it a safe, they can only make it an unsafe, so you can keep making it into a safe move, just by how the binary system is set up, and then you'll be able to take the last item to win. I know it gets a little confusing, especially playing into a binary system, but that'll be your strategy for how to win. So if you're really good at putting things in binary real quick, you're golden in this game. And here's my bibliography if you want. So if you want to play NIM, I recommend going to this website right here on cutthenot.org. They do a multi-tier system. As I shown earlier, this won't be a single one. And as long as you use the binary system, yet again, make sure that adds up to a safe move. Make sure that you have only 2s and 0s in the bottom. You should be able to beat the computer there. It's just another way to mess around, just to get the hang of how to play a multi-tier system of NIM. If you're also more curious about some of the algebra portion of it, there is a little section in our book from pages 493 to 497, and I just recommend you go and check that out. Thank you.